Howdy guys. So just a little demonstration here of this 2005 Dodge Neon PCM. Um, it was originally sent in for P0141, which is issue with the O2 sensor heater. I can't remember which one. I think 1-2. But anyway, I have the bench buddy here hooked in. Uh, haven't finished the digital circuits for it yet. I'm waiting on some components to come in from Mauser. So until then, I'm still piggybacking with my Uno here, which is providing the crank cam and the two O2 signals. Bench Buddy is currently just providing the power, the grounds. It's got the data connection going through there. I have a ECT simulation set up, and then I have two lamps here to simulate the heater coils for the O2 sensors. So, um, like I said, the customer's complaint was the P0141, which was saying the heater wasn't working for one. And I'm seeing them both come on. So that was 1-1. This is 1-2, I believe, is how I had them hooked up. But they seem to be working good. And I do not have the P0141 code. Okay, so I do have the circuit high. You see this P0038 on the scanner and this 32. That's because my resistance of my lamps are probably too low. I'm guessing that's what that is. The resistance of the lamps are probably too low, so the ECU is triggering. The circuit is high. Um, I'm not quite sure what the draw of the heater coils are. I guarantee you a lot higher than my lamps there. So that two codes is going to be normal. I do not see the P0141, which if we take a look, let me see here. If we take a look, the P0141 heater circuit malfunction, bank 1 sensor 2. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure the PCM is fine on that. I don't see anywhere else where it would be bad. I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna check the return inside the PCM. So like this chip here handles the output for the heater, the O2 heaters, and that's working good. So I'm just gonna check the return. I have to find out which pin is the return. It's probably going to be this resistor, this current sense resistor here. So I'm going to check that, probably just reflow everything just in case. And then I think that's about all I can do with this one. If that doesn't take care of it on, the customer's end, then it's definitely going to be something external. Uh, their notes, it seems like they thought it was okay, but yeah, it's probably a ground issue. I suspect it's probably going to be a ground issue for them because looking at the notes or looking at the circuit, there was a lot of splices and stuff. Let me see if I can pull it back up. Oh, yeah, what am I doing? Right here. Where'd they go? Was it? Must have been this one. Okay, so yeah, so like this one right here, the heater control, everything is good to this point. Maybe you're losing it in the connection here. This is C101. So it could be that connector is bad or has moisture in it. This side, it goes through one splice, one connector, one splice, another splice, all before it reaches ground. So you could have a problem in any one of these going to the ground, or you could just have a problem with this ground itself, this G102. But that's 1 1, and the code was for 1 2, so it would have to be this one. And this one goes through a splice, another splice. So that one goes through two splices before it reaches ground. Any one of them could be losing the good connection there. But anyway, this is just a quick demonstration of um, easy pinpoint testing for the specific fault that's sent in. I know a lot of times people wonder how we test ECUs and stuff like that. Uh, you know, Occasionally you hook up the entire computer and run all kind of tests, but when you're doing repairs, that kind of thing is not that beneficial. You really don't need to verify everything or get, mixed up in everything. You really want to go pinpoint straight to what your problem is supposed to be. And in this case, the customer only had a problem with P0141. So, you know, to test that, I go straight to it. I go straight to the problem. I test for the problem, make sure that it's not a problem, and then I know everything else is good because there is no other issues with it. So anyway, um, yeah, I think I'm done with this one. Like I said, I'm gonna reflow it a little bit, check on the current sense resistors, but that was a little demonstration of bench body, and eventually I will not need the Uno. I'll be able to run all the digital signals through here, and that will make my life a lot easier. Got no problem with Uno. It's easy to piggyback in there, but I like everything all in one place here. And the good thing about my bench buddy here that I've made is that I can make connectors where I can just plug them in. Like if I want to test a whole computer like I was talking about, I have three different connectors here which would handle all of this. It would handle every single connection there. I have, that where I can do the quick connects, but I also have it where I can just pinpoint like I just did, how I just use this cheap DuPont cable, pinpoint test the specific circuit I'm working on, and then move on. Okay, so also another cool feature is my jumper system here. So coils sometimes can have a high signal or a low signal come from the ECU. So I've designed this where I can switch the supply from the bench buddy. I can switch it between battery or ground, based on where I put this jumper. And then the control side would come from the ECU. And I've done that with my pots as well. So like the pots here, when I want to simulate a sensor, I can piggyback the 5 volts and the sensor ground from my bench buddy if I want to, which that's how I have it all set up right now with all the jumpers. Or I can remove the jumpers and I can actually hook up the true 5 volt from here. I can actually wire the true sensor fully in without piggybacking the signal through there. That's just some of the neat things I did on this so that I can, uh, you know, test things a little bit more to my liking. I don't, if you guys remember, I usually use a breadboard, which works perfectly fine. It's just that, my components would constantly fall out and it was just a pain. So I wanted to kind of move the breadboard here with all the stuff that I always use anyway and just kind of, make sure it stays fixed. And I wanted to add my digital stuff. And, I build a lot of I build a lot of these things. Like this one is for the old EEC computers. That's like a full tester. It's specifically designed for those. And this one's actually only designed for the 88 ish years. It's the 91s change a little bit, but I can still use it for them. I have other ones like this one. I have this one was for a bunch of Ford computers. I have like this one. This was for the Allison transmissions, and you can see a pattern here. I have very similar designs, and here's the one. I think you guys seen this one quite a bit. This for my Cummins CM551s. And I have others too. These are just the ones I keep at my desk that I use all the time. I have a few others. I have other ones that are, they like halfway work, halfway don't. Uh, so I don't usually use them. I usually still just use the breadboard. But anyway, this is my bench buddy, and you're going to be seeing a lot more of it. This one is not quite finished yet, even after I add the digital circuits. I'm going to play with it for a while. I'm going to use it for a while, but I already see some adjustments I want to make in a second revision. Like this one, I forgot to add outputs for the run, the battery, and the ground, so I had to kind of mod them in there, which they actually modded in perfectly. So, I'm not mad about it, but I do need a second revision. Also, I did not add good test points. It's not really a problem because there's, so easy to just get a probe somewhere. But, maybe I'll run the test points across the top. See, like this one. This one, when I made it, I made every output a little through hole at the top as a test point. So while I was working, I could always just stick my probes there to test the circuit. I probably should have done that on this one. But anyway, that was just a quick look. Like I said, I'm not finished with it. I still have a lot to do. I still have a lot to experiment with it to make sure my basic concept is going to work. And then, from there, I'll kind of probably do a second revision, something a little bit cleaner, something a little bit nicer. But anyway, there's your first look at the bench buddy. Working on this random '05 neon PCM that I don't see too often, and that's the perfect job for this. Is just random computers that you just want to pinpoint specific tests for, and it worked perfectly for that. Anyway, until the next video, take care.